So, there's one spot for you here. Okay? So if it takes more, yeah, can you move? Yeah. Okay, so if there's no supply, what compensates? Price. Okay, because the demand doesn't change, so price has to compensate. Now, ça marche là? Bon, là, je peux enregistrer. OK, good. OK, so, si les acheteurs ont moins de choix, disons, OK, je vous donne un exemple. On va dire qu'il y a 30 propriétés pour 10 acheteurs. C'est-à-dire que chaque acheteur a environ 3 options devant lui, n'est-ce pas? Okay. Si le nombre tombe à 25, okay? S'il tombe à 25, et c'est les mêmes 10 acheteurs, maintenant, ils ont 2 choix et demi par achat, n'est-ce pas? Est-ce qu'ils sont prêts à rentrer en compétition avec quelqu'un d'autre s'ils en ont vraiment besoin? Oui. Okay? Et c'est là où il faut l'expliquer à votre client. Le vendeur ne comprend pas ça tant et aussi longtemps qu'on ne lui montre pas. Il faut lui expliquer. Monsieur le vendeur, est-ce que vous aimez quand il y a tous vos voisins qui sont en vente ou vous êtes le seul? Bien, quand je suis le seul. Pourquoi? Parce que ma propriété devient plus unique. Let them talk. Let them say it. Effectivement. Et savez-vous, c'est quoi l'avantage de lister là versus le mois de janvier et février? Non. Tout le monde pense comme vous qu'en janvier et février, ils vont mettre leur propriété en vente. Donc, si vous êtes contre-courant, vous avez plus de chances de vente à un meilleur prix. OK? Comprenez? OK. Donc, la prochaine, ben, c'est en parlant de janvier. L'inventaire va considérablement augmenter en janvier. Si vous regardez, si vous suivez, bon, je ne l'ai pas ici, là, mais si vous allez sur centris.ca, la première page est toujours le nombre de propriétés en vente au Québec. OK? Mettez-vous un petit reminder de regarder ça une fois ou 2-3 semaines, juste pour le fun. OK? Mettez-vous un petit reminder dans Google, repeat every month or every other week, ou peu importe. Et vous allez voir ce chiffre-là varier. Okay? C'est pour ça que je peux vous dire, moi, ça a baissé de 1300 propriétés depuis fin novembre. J'avais regardé à la fin novembre, on était à 54 600 quelques. Et hier, quand j'ai regardé, on était à 53 300 quelques. Donc, 1300 propriétés de moins. Okay? 1300 propriétés de moins sur 50 000, c'est quasiment 2 % de moins. C'est beaucoup. Okay? On ne le voit pas, là, mais c'est quand même beaucoup. 2 %, c'est énorme quand il y a une baisse d'inventaire de 2 %. En théorie, s'il y a une baisse d'inventaire de 2 %, il y a une augmentation de prix de 2 %. Vous voyez? Okay? Donc, l'inventaire va augmenter considérablement en janvier. Ça, c'est la réponse que vous allez donner à votre client. Donc, il y aura moins de demandes pour votre maison, monsieur le vendeur. Moins de demandes signifie moins de quoi? Moins d'argent dans vos poches. Est-ce que c'est ça que vous voulez? Est-ce que vous voulez moins d'argent? Avec qui j'ai parlé? Avec toi. Quand tu voulais aller voir ton client, qu'est-ce que je t'ai dit? S'il y avait un avantage financier à le rencontrer maintenant, plutôt que d'attendre, est-ce qu'il serait intéressé à te rencontrer? Right? Et c'est exactement ça. Vous avez un avantage financier à ce qu'il vous rencontre immédiatement que s'il voulait vous rencontrer au mois de janvier et février. OK? En voici un, juste pour le fun, d'accord? Donc, numéro 4. OK, quand on se promène dans les rues, OK? Il ne neige pas encore. Il va neiger dans pas long. Mais même s'il ne neige pas, est-ce que les gens décorent leur maison pour Noël, pour le jour de l'an, peu importe? Est-ce que c'est plus beau à voir qu'avoir une belle tempête avec aucune couleur? Qu'est-ce qui est plus beau? Se promener dans les rues, voir des couleurs, ou se promener dans la rue puis voir blanc et noir? C'est à peu près ça. La neige puis ton asphalte. Okay? Rien d'autre. Qu'est-ce qui est plus beau à voir? Les couleurs. Donc, les maisons se présentent mieux. Si moi, je vais rentrer comme acheteur pour acheter une propriété qui est bien décorée, est-ce qu'on achète avec notre cerveau ou avec notre cœur? L'immobilier. Est-ce qu'on rationalise après avec notre cerveau?
Ouais.
On dit tout qu'on est rationnel, mais en réalité, la maison qu'on achète pour habiter, elle passe par ici en premier. Même pour des gens comme moi. OK? En premier, c'est on rentre dans la maison, puis essayez de vous rappeler de la maison que vous avez achetée ou que vous avez louée. C'est quand vous êtes rentré, la minute que vous êtes rentré dans la maison, vous êtes senti chez vous. Ouais? Ouais? C'est comme ça qu'on achète. Après ça, on rationalise. Oh oui, je l'ai acheté parce que c'est un bon secteur, parce que c'est un beau coin, parce que j'ai acheté à un bon prix, parce que mon courtier était bon, blablabla. Bla, bla, bla. OK? Ça, c'est on rationalise nos émotions. Mais l'achat, c'est émotionnel. Et étant donné que c'est émotionnel, dans une maison qui est décorée pour Noël ou pour le jour de l'an, ou peu importe, elle se présente mieux. Okay? Il y a plus d'émotions qui font en sorte. Donc, une meilleure chance d'avoir quelqu'un qui serait intéressé à l'acheter. C'est bon? OK. Un autre point qui est important, écrivez-les, hein, tous ces points-là. As-tu un crayon papier? Constant?
Non, je l'avais sur le téléphone.
Je peux te donner.
Non, donne-y un papier. Un crayon.
Ici.
Jing Jing?
Oui.
You have pen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tout le monde crayon papier? Écrivez-les parce que c'est ça que vous allez avoir besoin quand vous allez aller devant le client. OK, si vous ne voulez pas l'écrire, non, je vais vous demander de l'écrire parce que vous allez apprendre. Après ça, je vais vous donner quelle page. Je suis mieux de vous voir après l'écrire pareil. OK? OK. Est-ce que les acheteurs sont plus ou moins émotionnels durant les fêtes? Est-ce qu'on achète plus avec les émotions? Donc, est-ce que ça nous rapporte une possibilité qu'il y ait une transaction plus que si on avait moins d'émotions? OK. Alors, pensez-y 2 minutes. Combien de fois, puis moi je l'ai déjà entendu, puis écoutez bien, si vous êtes avec des acheteurs, écoutez bien, des fois ils vont le dire, puis vous allez l'entendre. That's going to be our New Year's gift. Okay? Ça va être notre cadeau de l'année prochaine. Si vous faites assez de transactions, vous allez l'entendre souvent durant le mois de décembre de la bouche de vos acheteurs. Okay? Je vais vous donner un truc. Parlez pas trop là, durant les visites. Okay? Moi, quand je rentre avec un client pour une visite, là, je ne parle pas. Je ne dis pas voici la cuisine, voici la salle de bain. Ils savent que c'est une salle de bain. Vous n'avez pas besoin d'être assez intelligent pour leur dire. Écoutez ce qu'ils disent. Ils vont vous donner des trucs, ils vont vous donner des pistes de conversation après. Oui, ici, hein, la salle. Ouais. Tu sais quoi, j'aime bien ici, on pourrait mettre tel sofa. That's money. Shut up. Parlez pas. Quand vous allez parler, je ne peux pas dire le mot qui commence avec F, vous allez maganer votre transaction. Okay, je suis sur caméra, je ne peux pas le dire. Okay? Parlez pas. Laissez-les eux autres parler. C'est important parce que s'ils ne parlent pas, vous n'entendez pas ou vous n'écoutez pas leur conversation. Et quand vous allez comprendre leur conversation, de un, vous allez savoir leur intérêt et de deux, vous allez être en mesure de closer. Parce que, encore une fois, je vous l'ai dit, c'est quoi qui décide? Et quand on parle de prix, c'est quoi qui rationalise? Revenez au quoi? Revenez toujours aux émotions. Parce qu'ils veulent rationaliser le prix qu'ils veulent vous donner. Et ça venait de qui? Ça vient de tout le monde, incluant vous, les courtiers. Je peux vous donner un exemple réel qui est assis ici. Une personne que j'ai représentée comme courtier. Elle est courtier et elle achetait sa maison. Okay? Cette jeune dame-là, OK? À un moment donné, quand on parlait de prix, je savais que c'était une bonne maison pour elle et je savais que c'était un bon prix. Qu'est-ce que tu m'as dit?
J'ai crié, j'étais hystérique. À 800 000, je veux trouver 50 d'autres maisons. J'étais horrible.
Okay? C'était un acheteur horrible. Elle est courtier. Imaginez, puis c'est pas un petit courtier, là. Alina, C'est un très bon courtier. 35 transactions, 40, 30 quelques transactions par année. Et on devient émotif, c'est normal. Parce que c'est la maison où on va habiter. Notre rationalisation disparaît. OK? Où elle devient beaucoup moins évidente. Alors, écoutez ce qu'ils vous disent. Parce que lorsque vous écoutez, et surtout écoutez qui? Il y a un couple, femme et homme, ou si c'est deux femmes, même si c'est deux femmes, même si c'est deux hommes, il y en a toujours un qui prend la décision. Même si vous êtes avec un couple gay, féminin ou masculin, ou un couple, c'est toujours, dans le couple normal, c'est la femme. Dans le couple gay, c'est la personne qui est plus à domicile. Homme ou femme. Okay? Celle qui est plus à domicile, c'est elle qui prend la décision. Peu importe si ce n'est pas elle qui amène l'argent, c'est elle qui prend la décision. Écoutez-la bien, écoutez la conversation, puis dites, okay, dans ce couple-là, c'est elle qui prend la décision. Écoutez ce qu'elle dit. Parce qu'elle va être capable de le convaincre, elle va être capable de convaincre son partenaire d'acheter la maison à un prix plus élevé, s'il le faut. Parce que des fois, on peut rentrer en compétition, on n'a pas... Si vous êtes seul en compétition, il n'y a pas de problème. Faites votre offre. Quand il y a 2-3 offres, c'est possible encore, là, je viens de vivre une situation présentement avec mon cousin, c'est encore là. Quand le prix est correct, il y a encore 2-3 offres qui peuvent rentrer. Alors, on est encore, en passant, on est encore dans un marché de vendeurs. Tout le monde pense qu'on est rentré dans... On n'est pas dans un marché d'acheteurs. On est purement dans un marché de vendeurs. De loin, dans un marché de vendeurs, OK? C'est pas aussi fou que ça l'a été, mais on est quand même dans un marché de vendeurs. Alors, écoutez bien la conversation et revenez à leur motivation. Donc, s'ils ont parlé beaucoup de la cuisine, qui serait parfaite pour leur réunion de famille, revenez là-dessus. Écoutez, je vous ai entendu tantôt, juste pour voir la prochaine maison qu'on va vous trouver. Si ce n'est pas une grande cuisine, ça va être un problème. Si j'avais parlé de... Ah oui, nos réunions de famille, il faut absolument que ce soit une grande cuisine. Okay. Si on n'est pas capable de trouver une propriété avec une grande cuisine comme celle que vous avez vue aujourd'hui, est-ce que vous êtes prêt à attendre quelques mois, 3-4 mois, jusqu'à temps qu'on en trouve une? Non? Ah, OK. Regardez là, ça là, ça va beaucoup. Beaucoup. Si vous voulez faire beaucoup d'argent, utilisez vos gestes. Utilisez votre tête. OK? Faites-le. Souriez. C'est important de sourire. OK? Si on ne sourit pas, personne ne veut travailler avec nous. Acheteurs et vendeurs, je vous le dis. Sourire, ça marche. OK? Donc, les acheteurs sont plus émotionnels, donc sont plus susceptibles à payer un petit peu plus. Si ça prend ce 10 000 de plus là ou 15 000 de plus là, ils vont être beaucoup plus susceptibles à finir avec la situation et dire à leurs amis, durant Noël ou à leur famille, on a acheté une maison. We bought a house. My God, it's beautiful. You want to see it? They're going to talk about it. Okay, they're excited. In January, they're not that excited. They're less excited. OK? C'est bon? OK. OK. Une autre question pour vous. Est-ce que généralement les acheteurs ont des vacances de Noël, comme n'importe qui d'autre?
Oui.
Est-ce qu'ils ont plus de temps? Est-ce que c'est plus relax au bureau? Hein? Donc ici, à partir du 16 du mois, on arrête de... Notre staff n'est plus là, on leur donne off. En passant, je vous le dis, le 17, c'est déjà fermé notre année fiscale. Hein? Donc, si vous n'avez pas ramené vos chèques avant le 16, vous ne serez pas payé jusqu'au mois de janvier. Je vais juste vous préparer, vous allez recevoir 10 courriels là-dessus, pour ne pas m'attendre. Okay? Donc, amenez tous vos chèques avant.
Et pour Mike Ferry aussi?
Tout. Non, Mike Ferry, c'est correct. Mais le plus vite, le mieux, parce qu'on a un certain nombre de places.
Non, pour la coaching, avec le coaching.
Le 12 mois de
150 $.
Non, ça, vous envoyez quand vous avez fini votre année, vous envoyez la preuve que vous avez eu 12 mois de coaching. On va vous donner un crédit de 1 800 $. C'est juste ça. C'est bon? C'est clair? Qui a du coaching?
Canadien,
Coaching? Oh, j'habite au Canada, je vous parle en canadien. Okay, alors, pour ceux qui sont coachés, à la fin des 12 mois de votre coaching, vous envoyez votre confirmation à Karine, puis il va vous donner un crédit.
Is there Mike Ferry training a thing in Las Vegas last year?
Yeah, I'm going there.
Yeah,
January 7th. Well, you could.
It's already
You can go
started.
direct, or you're getting a discount because we pay 50% of your. So you speak to Zoe. Remind me, and I'll send the message again in the
I
group.
want to do it.
Yeah, Zoe. Zoe will give you guys 50% off because we pay him. We have an call it elite program with Mike Ferry, which gives you guys. We pay the difference, so it's 50% off. Okay. So what were we saying? Where were we? Okay, so durant Noel, during Christmas, New Year, you guys get a lot of, the buyers are, it's less busy at the office, or they have days off. So they are more flexible to go visit, right? So they have more time and they're more relaxed. And that's always going to help in a transaction. So remember this, because they're getting vacation time off. And by the way, all that stuff that I'm telling you, you should say to your client. The way I'm training you is the way you're going to train who? The seller. Okay? So Mr. Seller, let me show you another reason why you should list now. Can I share with you? That's how you approach it. He's gonna, yeah, sure. So let me ask you, where do you work right now? Well, I work for whatever. Okay, you work for that company. Do you guys have some time off during Christmas? Now, if they're in retail, don't ask that stupid question. Okay, be smart. If he's a lawyer, you could ask. If he's something, yeah. If he's in retail, working for Sears doesn't exist. Bay, don't shut your mouth. Don't say that. They're busy at that time. Okay. Amazon too. So you just take whatever they're doing and say, okay, so are you more busy in the mid to end of December, or less busy during the year? Or much less busy. Okay, so you have more time to visit if you were the right buyer. Oh, yes, we do. Don't you think that others have the same? Yeah. And that's how you bring these objections, handlers, into questioning. So that's how you ask the question. Because remember this, telling is not selling. Telling is what? Selling is what, sorry? Asking questions. Why do we ask questions? Why is it important that all these conversations have to go in a question format?
For the client to realize.
Faut
qu'il réalise dans le même.
Oui.
En fait, pour que ça vienne de lui, que ça paraisse même pas sur combien de personnes.
Quand ça vient de lui, il y a deux choses qui arrivent. Quand ça vient de lui, c'est que, tu sais qu'il a compris ou s'il n'a pas compris. Donc, il est convaincu par ce qu'il dit. Il ne sera jamais convaincu par ce que vous dites. Il va être convaincu par ce que lui dit. Et là, vous allez comprendre. Est-ce qu'il comprend qu'est-ce que je suis en train de dire? Parce qu'il peut répondre à une question, puis vous le voyez, des fois, je vous pose une question, puis vous allez me dire une réponse, puis ce n'est pas la réponse que je veux entendre. Alors, qu'est-ce que je fais? Je repose la question d'une autre manière. Parce que c'est peut-être ma manière de poser la question qui n'était pas bien formulée. Donc, je reformule ma question pour que j'entende la réponse que je veux entendre. Et pourquoi est-ce que je fais ça comme homme d'affaires, comme vendeur? C'est parce que je veux que vous soyez convaincus par la réponse que vous me donnez. Parce que là, on peut passer à l'autre étape. Vous suivez? C'est bon? OK. Donc, les acheteurs, numéro 6, les acheteurs ont beaucoup plus de temps pour chercher une maison. Est-ce que vous le voyez? Est-ce que, pour ceux qui font quand même pas mal de transactions, quand on n'est pas occupé au bureau, est-ce qu'on peut, et qu'on est en train de chercher une voiture, un ordinateur, une maison, quelque chose qu'on veut acheter, puis on n'est pas occupé, est-ce qu'on a plus de temps pour regarder et commencer à comparer? Si on est dans le rush, pas évident. On va regarder l'ordinateur, j'ai besoin d'un ordinateur, okay, j'achète. Mais si on a plus de temps, on est capable de commencer à comparer et de prendre le temps de peut-être appeler la compagnie, etc. Mais c'est la même chose pour les maisons. C'est exactement la même chose pour les maisons. Les gens ont beaucoup plus de temps pour regarder, étant donné que le travail ralentit. OK? OK. Là, je vais rentrer dans quelque chose qui est un petit peu plus technique. Si vous vendez, propriété à revenu. Est-ce qu'un condo est une propriété à revenu?
Non.
Ça dépend. Si le condo, c'est un condo que le propriétaire loue, c'est un immeuble à revenu. Est-ce que l'acheteur considère le condo un immeuble à revenu?
Oui.
Pourquoi? S'il le loue.
Oui.
Right?
Mhm.
OK. Je vais vous donner un truc. Je vais vous expliquer quelque chose qui est très technique. Je ne suis pas comptable, mais je vais vous expliquer un principe de comptabilité de base. OK? Vous achetez un immeuble, je vais l'appeler immeuble, ça peut être un condo, duplex, triplex, huitplex, je m'en fous, qui est locatif, que vous allez louer à quelqu'un. OK? Même si c'est un condo. Si moi j'achète un condo et que je veux te le louer, ben pour moi, c'est un immeuble à revenu. Elle qui me l'a vendu, qui habitait dedans, ce n'est pas un immeuble à revenu pour elle. C'est le même condo, mais deux fonctionnalités. Alors, si moi j'achète, si je cherche à acheter une propriété à revenu, le meilleur temps pour l'acheter, savez-vous c'est quand? À la fin de l'année. Savez-vous pourquoi? Oui, mais pourquoi? C'est quoi l'avantage fiscal d'acheter à la fin de l'année?
C'est pas quelque chose la première année. Ça fait l'acquisition la première année, c'est tout.
Ça a rapport avec la première année, mais ce n'est pas l'imposition.
C'est 50.
Depreciation, yeah. Yes. But what about depreciation?
It's calculated as half a year.
Okay, so I'll explain it to you very
I
quickly.
heard half of her saying it, so I didn't.
Yeah, you know, both of you are actually giving
Half of
a complete answer together, okay? You're just like saying it. Okay, so revenue properties are this. So let me give you an example. So let's say you buy a property in January, and let's say the revenue of that property is, I don't know, let's give it a number. Let's say 100,000, okay, just to make things easy. And let's say your operational expenses, that includes municipal tax, school tax, insurance, management, whatever, okay? It's, let's say, 35,000. Now you have $65,000 of something called NOI. Who was here last week when you were? Okay. Elias was explaining to you what NOI is. Okay. So let's say your 65,000 is your NOI. Now from the NOI, it's called net operating income. So that's income minus operational expenses. We call that NOI. So the minute you have, let's say 65,000, that's your profit for the company if it's paid cash, right? But if you finance the property, you're allowed to deduct something more, the interest. Now, let's say, let's make it fun. Let's say your payments to the bank are 65,000, just to make things easy. Do you have any cash flow at the end of the year?
No.
No, because you got 100,000 minus 35,000 of expenses minus 65,000 of mortgage. So you have how much cash flow?
Zero.
Zero. But at the end of the year, do you have a profit? Yeah. What is your profit? The capital, the interest, the capital, the principal paid. So when you pay a mortgage, there's two parts of that payment. One part is the profit of the bank, interest. The other part is your profit bringing down the mortgage. Do you have it in your pocket? No, you're rich on paper. You don't see it, but you have dropped, let's say, your mortgage from $1 million to 968,000. Yeah, I don't know, just give it a number. So you've dropped that amount. That amount is their capital. That's the principal that you pay. Okay. Typically, it's about 1.5% of your mortgage payment. So in this case, 65,000 would be 10 grand. Okay, roughly. I'm giving you a number. Very, very, very rough. Okay. So now you get your profit. You've made, let's say, $30,000 profit. You declare that on your revenue. Now you owe taxes on $30,000 at the end of the year, correct? Do you have it? No, because how much did you finish with? Zero cash. So in order to help us invest in real estate, the governments in Canada, I think it's the same numbers in the US, but for Canada, it's the government gives you the Revenue Canada, Revenue Quebec gives you the option of depreciating the asset. So your asset is the building. Let's say it's $1 million. Okay, just to have a round number. Okay, you're allowed to depreciate the asset by 4% per year. So if you start, let's say the rule of 50%, which I will explain to you after, it didn't exist. You're at $1 million. You're allowed to depreciate how much?
4%.
4%, 40,000. The year after, you're allowed to depreciate 40,000 of what? Of $1 million? Of whatever's left. So on 960, and so on. Okay, until it becomes zero. Okay, and by the way, there are properties out there that if they sell, they can't pay taxes. They're going to go bankrupt. So, anyways, I'll explain that to you in more on the commercial side. So, now there is, however, a specific rule in Canada that says the first year that you buy, you're not allowed to depreciate 4%. You can only depreciate half of that 4%, which is 2%. So you buy in January, okay? And let's say, I don't know the numbers, but let's say total payment to the bank was, principal was $35,000. You are allowed to depreciate $20,000. So how much do you need to pay tax on? 15. Do you have it? No. Again, we go back to this. It's less of a problem, but it's still a problem. So what do people do? What do investors do? They never buy in January, barely. What do? They typically buy after June and towards the end of the year. Why? Because now it becomes interesting. Let's say Amin had a property for sale. It's $1 million. I come in and say, okay, great, I'm going to buy it. And I want to close December 5th. Cool. Is that possible? Okay. If I close on December 5th, how much revenue did I get? Well, whatever left in terms of days, the notary is going to give it to me as an adjustment. That's peanuts, maybe a few $100 of profit. But how much can I depreciate? 20,000. Now, there's a thing. The government will not pay you. You cannot remove that from your regular income. So you cannot become negative. Okay? But that 20,000 minus, let's say 100 that I cash flow, it's reported to the year after, and to the year after, and to the year after, and to the. So eventually, nobody really pays any kind of taxes on a building before at least 10 to 12 years. Okay?
But what about your accountant doesn't know to depreciate the 2% you were talking about?
Change the accounting.
After 2 years or 1 year, can
He could always start, but change account right away. Like don't even think that don't even give me that stuff. Like, no. I had an accountant once. He said, "Well, we don't need to do that." I said, "Dude, just do it." He said, "But why, Fadi? You don't have to. You're not making any profit on this." I said, "I'll tell you why. Eventually, I will. And the more I depreciate now, the longer it's going to take for me to pay them back." Okay, so right away, first year. And again, if you sell the property, now remember this: if you sell the property and you make a profit, but you still have a loss. So it's stupid not to do it. Okay, so if your accountant says you don't need to, what do?
change it.
You change accountant. Okay, good. Okay, so do you guys understand this? So now when you're talking to a seller and he owns a condo, and you bring up that thing, he's going to say, yeah, but condo is not an investment property. You say, yeah, for some people it is. Some people are looking for a small condo like yours or a small house like yours that they want to rent out. Do you want to miss out on these people? Do you? No. Okay. Please. Yeah, with a smile. All right? So, okay. So let me ask you this. Are people more positive or negative on the new year? Positive, right? That's when you do all the, I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna go back to. By the way, one of my buddies has a gym, and he says, Fadi, the best thing happens to me in January. So he says all my subscriptions go to the roof, and he says 2 weeks after I have nobody. These guys never show up. So everybody has these, ambitions. It's gonna be a great year. That year I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna lose weight. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. And one of the things that they want to do is change what? Jobs. Okay? I'm going to tell you this, but the month that has the most changes of jobs is January, February. That's when people quit their jobs the most, and that's where people are hired the most. Okay? So, because people start a new job, or they know they're going to start a new job in the new year, do they need to move to that area?
Well,
Probably, right? I mean, if it's a different area, let's say you live in Ville Saint Laurent, you're working at an office here, and then you're moving to Pointe-aux-Trembles. Well, you'd rather go there. So, are they more inclined to trying to close as fast as possible a deal? Maybe now, close it on paper and at least move in January, February, or March to that new neighborhood. That's another type of buyer that you're going to have. Okay? Mr. Seller, that's another type of buyer, potential buyer. C'est bon? Okay. Okay. What is one of the objections that always comes up? Let's say they say, okay, Fadi, I'm fine. Let me list that property. You're making sense. I'd like to list it, but I don't want to be disturbed between December 23rd up to January 3rd, because I'm going to Cuba. Could that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they say, look, I'm getting a lot of people. I'm inviting a lot of people from outside. I don't want to be bothered. Could it happen? Now, do you have a tool in your toolbox?
Yeah.
What is that?
You can block period.
You could, exactly. Okay, that's the cool part. So now you could say, look, it's cool. You're never going to get any requests because I'm going to block it in our system. And if you don't want your property to be online, I could put it offline. I don't suggest that, Mr. Seller. Why not? Because the more people see it and the more it's blocked, the more they're excited to see it in January. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Right? Okay. Okay. Another objection that you're always going to get from the seller is this. They're going to say something like, I'm sorry, was there any questions online? How many people online? Okay, 17. Any questions? No, c'est bon. Okay, so keep your questions until the end online, please, because I'm not always looking. Okay, can they come up with the following objection, saying it's cold, I'm not ready, I want to go in the spring, I want to have a good time, when I'm moving, I don't want to be rushed, I don't want to move in January. Could that happen?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you answer that objection? Not really, but close.
Or just mulling the fact that you can have
How could you do it? How could you do it with them giving you the answer? So let me show you something. Didn't we just talk, Mr. Seller, about the fact that now there's not a lot of properties and there's very serious buyers? Do you think they would be willing maybe to just make you an offer, go to the notary immediately to, benefit from the interest rate, but you could stay home for another 2 or 3 months? Would you like that? Would you want me to take care of that when I'm doing the offers? Yeah? Okay, great. I'm going to do that. You're basically selling already your services to them, right? So, yeah, it's always possible to go to the notary immediately and then go to the, occupancy in 5, 6, 7 months, especially in this type of market where interest rate is actually going up. Now, is the interest rate going up or down? So the people that are qualified now, do they need to buy now?
Yeah.
If they wait, what would happen? So are they willing to maybe go to the notary immediately and just, say, hey, dude, you can stay here. I don't care. You can stay for another 2 or 3 months. Did that happen? Right. So that's another option that you need to bring to the table. Interest rate tomorrow, I don't know what time, I think at noon, they should announce the new interest rates. Let's see where that goes. Okay, so number 11. Number 11 is the one I really like. I like a lot. Okay, number 11 is this. Mr. Seller, would you rather have more options to buy or less options to buy? Would you have more help? Would you rather go and visit a lot more homes and choose? Or would you rather have less homes to choose? What would you like, Mr. Seller? What would you like? More options or less options? More options. Right? You want more options? Okay. So by having more options, do you believe that maybe we could have a better price? I'm always going to give them the answer. Yeah. Yes? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Okay, so would you rather have a lot of options and a great price or low options and a high price? The first one, right? Okay. Well, let me tell you a good thing. If I get somebody to come into your house and make you an offer now and go to the notary fast, you're going to have cash in the bank. Now, let me ask you another question, Mr. Seller. Would you rather receive an offer conditional on selling a property or someone without that condition? Which buyer would you prefer to have? Are you willing to negotiate maybe a little bit less with this guy than the other guy? Like give him a little bit of a better price than if he would say, I got to sell my property? Yeah. So imagine if you would be that guy. Now you've sold, you've gone to the notary, even though you still have your house, you have the money, and now you're making an offer without condition of selling your home. Now you have a lot of properties, which is to your advantage, less competition, your advantage, right? And the third thing is now you have the money, you don't need to put it conditional on selling your house. Isn't that great? Sign the contract. Let me sell this house. Okay? So, a lot of different ways that you could approach this. And I'm telling you guys, if you ever have the chance to list a property, immediately do it. Do it, do it, do it. Don't miss out. Because right now is really the best time to list a property. Don't wait until January, February. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's less good. Okay, makes sense? Any questions for me? Online, any questions? Any questions? No questions? Thank you so much for coming. Appreciate that. Thank you. Page 137 dans votre livre en français, puis il y a aussi en anglais. Je n'ai pas la page exacte, mais vous l'avez. Ce que je vous conseille de faire, si vous avez un listing presentation, imprimez ça et amenez-le avec vous. Okay? Yeah?
Question.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's really bugging me. So I have this listing in Châteauguay, and it's a great.
Guys, please.
It's a great house.
Most likely you'll have that question from me in
Yeah.
the future, and I'll say, Alina asked. Have fun. Go ahead.
So great house, well priced, $449. It's been a week. We had dozens of visits, good feedbacks. 3-4 brokers told me that the clients are thinking. So it's like a lot of interest, but people they're like hesitating, And it's been only a week. So I'm thinking, is it this 5% that I need to adjust, make them think, or I should give it one more week? Because the seller
Very
knows
good
what
question.
to do. The
Very
seller
good
knows.
question.
Seller's ready.
He's ready to adjust 5%,
Yeah,
so
but-
do it. Immediately. Immediately, and send the message out to everybody. And I'll tell you the advantage of doing that. So you're at 445,
449.
449, 450. 5% would be 25,000,
Yeah.
30,000. So you'll go down to about 520, about 520, right?
427,
420,
yeah.
okay. 427. The advantage that you're going to have is this. Because there's already 4 or 5 people interested, when you're going to adjust the price, the first thing you're going to do is this. You adjust the price and you send an email contact to everyone. New price, 427. Now, what do you think the agents that have a buyer that's on the fence going to do? Is going to talk to the buyer. What do you think they're going to make as a decision? Maybe one of them will decide to make you an offer. If that happens, then you have another email that's going out, and now you have an option of getting maybe a second or third offer. So you do it immediately. Don't wait.
I still have 3 visits upcoming. I don't need to wait.
When is the visit?
It's on the 8th and 10th.
What are we now?
Thursday,
Yeah.
6.
Immediately and inform them. New price. And I'm going to tell you something. If you do that immediately, you may receive an offer. And if that happens, you're going to push these 2 visits to come immediately. You're not going to waste time, and you're going to have maybe 2 or 3 potential buyers. So yeah, immediately. Don't wait. Don't wait. Especially if the seller understands
Because
it's their advantage.
there is a rate increase like
Tomorrow. Well, we don't know if it's going to be an increase. I think so. I think it's going to be at least half a point, maybe a quarter point. We'll see. If it's a quarter point, I think that they'll take a break in January. If it's half a point, I believe they'll still increase in January. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so always adjust the price. Look, don't ever wait on a price adjustment price, ever. So I'm going to tell you guys something. What did I say to you when you have an accepted offer? When somebody, so the price is 500,000. You got an accepted offer at 475. The minute you get an accepted offer, what do?
An amendment,
You do an amendment and you reduce what?
the price.
The price to what?
To the offer.
To the offer. Why do you do that?
to attract buyers.
Well, for 2 things.
Second rank.
Obviously, you're going to attract other buyers.
Good pressure.
You may receive a second rank, and that puts a lot of pressure on who? The first rank. Okay. So one of you guys did that. He said, Fadi, I did that and I got in trouble. I said, oh, nice. What kind of trouble? And he said, the agent that made the offer thought that his buyer, I don't know if it's him saying stupidities to his buyer, which I believe that's the case. But he said his buyer thought that they haven't negotiated enough. I said, great. Give him 2 days. Most likely you'll get another offer. And now they'll know that they've paid the right price. Exactly 2 days later, gets another offer. He says, now we got another offer. It's incredible. How did you know? I said, wait a minute. Now you send a message to the first offer and say, we got a second rank already in place. Now do they think they've overpaid? No. Now what are they going to do about the inspection? Are they going to charge them? No. Okay? So always do it. Always do that. The minute you have an accepted offer, you tell your client, listen, the minute we accept that offer, I'm going to adjust your price to that offer. But yeah, but Fadi, what if somebody comes and offers me less? It's not possible because you already got that price. The only advantage that you're going to have is now you're going to have more people interested in buying your property. Okay? Make sense? Okay. Any other questions for me? Online, any questions? I can't see. Thanks, Fadi. Can you give me more info on the investor to buy at the end of the year? I will give it to my investor clients. Okay, I'll do that. Drop away the price. Yeah. So again, I'm going to repeat very quickly. We are allowed to adjust, not to adjust, to depreciate. Does anybody knows the difference between amortization and depreciation? Because I got that question for somebody that really understands commercial, and I was surprised that he asked me that question. So what's the difference between both? Depreciation is an accounting term. It's to depreciate the asset value on paper for tax purposes. Amortization is the number of years that you amortize the payments. Okay, just so clear. So depreciation, basically, you're allowed, Thomas, to do a depreciation of 4% per year on the remaining amount. So $1 million minus 4%, 460. That 40,000 is basically tax deductible on the property. But if it becomes negative, the government doesn't owe you money. Okay, so let's do it that way. Okay, and it stays in your books as long as you're still negative. So even if you're starting to get more revenues and making more profit, and the depreciation, let's say at one point, at year 7 or 8, you're going to get to about that point where the depreciation is equivalent to the profit, okay? On paper, obviously. But the advantage is the year after, year 8, let's say, you're getting more revenue than you can depreciate. But that difference here, it's going to come and eat all the old depreciations that you haven't taken. And that's why it takes at least 10 to 12 years before you really start paying anything out. And there's other ways then to reduce your payments. But we'll talk about that in more of a strategy. So I hope that answered your question. In the first year, the only thing you can do is 50% of whatever that amount is. Now it's 4%. Government can come up tomorrow and say it's no longer 4, it's 5. It's still 50% of that 5. Okay? Does that answer your question? Yeah? Thomas? Yes? Good. Any other questions? Okay, any other questions other than what we covered today? Something you're going through, some difficulties, a buyer, a transaction? Yeah? Yeah, she's just smiling. She has one. She's going to give it to me later. Go ahead.
Okay, if I have a signed contract, but the photographer will come only on Monday, would you suggest me to still list it right now and writing the note for brokers, check the old listing because pictures will be coming later? Like, his.
Well, the faster you put that damn thing on the line,
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if I was in your shoes, the first thing I would do is at least take a picture of the front of the house.
Yeah,
Put it there.
I can always steal it from the old listing.
No, don't steal it from the old listing. It's not yours. You're not, unless you call the
No
other
one's
agent.
gonna know, it's a big building.
Okay, sweetheart, no. Any other questions? Okay, just go there and take a damn picture. Okay, it's a big building. Okay, just. Okay. I'm not supposed to hear that. I don't care what you do. I'm not
You
supposed
stop
to hear
recording?
it.
Okay, so it's not really bad if it's gonna be only you, right?
Yeah, no, just
because
mention in
brokers
the
can
notes.
find, right, the old pictures.
Unless
Yeah.
you look, maybe the old agent.
I'll ask him if I can
Give him
take
50
for
or
a week.
$100. He'll be happy to give that. He's not, he lost some money on this
Because
deal.
the client is
Pay him
really
something and
big.
take it. I did it many times in the past. I would call him in and say,
Yeah,
look,
I
I
always
do.
do
I
that.
took that
I
listing,
always do that,
and I
by the
saw
way.
that you had it for
Yeah.
sale, and I know you didn't make any money on it. I'll give you $100. Send me
And,
the
and
picture.
just because we
That's it.
offer them half, very often they won't even take the
Yeah,
money. They
sometimes
say
they
just
don't.
because you offer, I don't
I
want
don't
to take
feel
from you.
taken.
Yeah.
I've done many times. I've
Yeah,
done
yeah.
that.
Pour sa question, ça m'a déjà arrivé. Tu prends une photo, et après tu mets une photo à venir.
Oui.
Because the clients are going to see.
Oui, tu peux le faire.
Pas besoin de-
Mais honnêtement, si tu appelles, moi, ça m'est souvent arrivé que le courtier m'appelle, Fad, écoute, j'ai vu que tu as listé une propriété il y a un an, est-ce que je peux prendre des photos? Yeah, man, for it, that's it. Yeah, what do I care? I paid for it, it's gone, it's in my expenses.
Mhm.
And if he offers me to pay, I'll just laugh and say,
Yeah,
I
it's
like it
50
even
bucks.
more, but no, thank you, just take a picture. Not going to be rich or poor with $50. Good. Any other questions? You had something. Go ahead.
Okay, so remember when I told you I have a duplex for sale in Villeray?
Yeah.
So accepted offer.
Yeah.
We did the inspection, phase 1, phase 2 of contamination.
Yeah.
Once we got the phase 2 reports.
Yeah.
3 days ago, the buyer's brokers sent me an email saying the buyers want to get out of this deal.
So hold on. You did phase 2, which means they went and got samples.
Yes.
So when they did the samples, is there any contamination?
Yes.
And, obviously, now it's
And
working.
wait, but the
Now we have a
sellers
problem.
are willing to pay this decontamination,
Nice. I
all
like
of it.
Okay.
Now
How much are they asking?
825, but
How much are they willing to let it go for?
I don't know.
Okay.
But they are aware that we're gonna lower the price. Now, my question to you is, should I do a new listing? Like, how should I go about this?
Well, first of all, is the offer gone, finished?
That's
These
it.
buyers are now going to buy,
Exactly.
even though the
Even
sellers are
though-
willing. They just don't want to
No.
get involved.
After
So
4
did you
months
get
of
a
wasting
quote
their
for?
time.
Did you get a quote for the decontamination?
Yes.
You did. How much is it?
Starting at like 200K.
Until
It's
yeah.
gonna go
yeah.
until
Just-
maybe, I don't know, 600, who knows?
So
I don't
how?
know, I'm not sure
Well,
exactly.
did they not give him? They should give him.
It's starting at 200.
Yeah.
But it could go up.
Absolutely. Where is that?
Villeray,
Villeray.
on Chambon.
Why not dropping it to 200?
But now I want to know, like, we're gonna lower the price, but should I do a new listing? Like, how should I go about it, and when should I do it? Before the holidays or January 1st?
Immediately, you don't wait.
Because I'm getting brokers calling me with buyers.
Well, did you mention in your listing that there needs to be decontamination?
Not yet.
Then it's not worth anything right now. First thing you gotta do is, if you're gonna keep the listing as is write in the listing that there's decontamination to be done, to be paid by the buyer or by the seller or whatever that is. Now, the other option that you have is this. The other option would be for you to drop it by 200,000 and mention that there is decontamination to be done at the expense of the buyer. And then maybe you'll have somebody that's willing to come and pick it up and say, look, I know how to do that for 150,000. Look, I'll buy that deal. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I would do that.
I will. I feel like I will.
There's some contractors that have the tools. They would do it. They don't care. They'll save on main d'oeuvre, because that's, look, the cost of decontamination is three things. It's the expertise. That's where the money is. Second thing is the machinery that you're going to need. And the third thing is the dumping. That's what's really expensive. But some contractors, they know how to make money with this. Okay? I just made a deal on a house that has some problems in the foundation. The buyer was like, look, the buyer, he quoted that seller 50,000. He says, I gave him a really good deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy said, look, if you're willing to buy it, I'll drop that 50,000. And the buyer said, absolutely, because it doesn't cost him 50,000. It's going to cost maybe 20, 25. So anyway, he's happy. That guy finished with this property. That guy has it. It's sold without legal warranty. Everybody is happy.
Exactly, and the seller's paying for all of this.
Yeah. Well, he won't. Not at $599.
No. Yeah. Okay, but do I do a new listing?
Do you really need a new listing? I don't think so. Because
then-
once you drop your price, no. You know, you contact back everybody else and you say, look, the reason of the drop in price is we got a quote for 200,000 to do the work, and that is the new price, $599. Okay? Yeah, that way you've closed much faster. And look, because the sellers, so you're going to miss out on a type of buyer. You're going to miss out on the type of buyer that doesn't want to touch this. You're going to miss out on it, okay? You're going to gain the contractors. So I think that you'll have much better chance to sell faster at a low price with a problem than a high price with problem paid by somebody. That's what. What if they don't do the job right? What if this? What if it goes up from 200 to 400? Now what do we do? Like, you don't want to put your sellers in this position, especially if they understand that there's a problem, they understand they need to take care of it, and they understand that, you know, just sell the damn thing, take your money, do whatever you want with it after. That's what I would do. Yeah. Any other questions? D'autres questions online? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.